Hello, today we are talking about a poem, Solitary Reaper. The Solitary Reaper is a poem by William Wordsworth. The poem was inspired by the poet's trip to Scotland in 1803 with his sister Dorothy Wordsworth. In the poem, the speaker tries and fails to describe the song he heard a young woman singing as she cuts grain in a Scottish field. The speaker does not understand the song. He finds that the traditional poetic metaphors for a beautiful song fail him. The poem thus calls implicitly for a new kind of poetry. The poem is about music. The Scottish girl sings as she cuts hay with sickle. Though the speaker cannot understand what the girl actually singing about, but its melancholy beauty echoing in his head long after its sound has faded. In this way, the poem suggests the ability of art to transcend cultural boundaries and even language itself. Art in the poem can communicate feeling or emotion even in the absence of concrete understanding. The speaker focuses on transfixing power of Reaper's mysterious song. He describes her song in elegant and slightly hyperbolical terms. He also invites readers to share in his wonder and pleasure, asking them to stop here and listen. Even cries out, "Will no one tell me what she sings?" He wonders whether she is singing about some ancient epic battles or simply the humble and familiar sorrows of everyday life. In either case, the speaker draws pleasures from the girl's song. Since poets often refer to their own art as song, the reader may also take the speaker's reflection on the power of the reaper's song as the reflection on the power of poetry itself. In the poem's focus on music, the speaker suggests that the poetry's power lies less in its content and more in its rhyme or rhythm. Its music, the sheer pleasure of musical language, is a means of connection. Careful attention paid to the poem's form reveals something interesting, that the poem actually full of musical conflict. The first four lines of each stanza are roughly a ballad, a low popular form. The next four lines approximate heroic couplets, a more presentigious form of the 18th century. In this way, the poem alternates between high and low forms. It seems almost at war with itself, unable to establish a solid, steady music structure. Despite the power of Reaper's song, which creates a connection across linguistic and cultural boundaries, the speaker spends much of the poem trying and failing to find the language to describe her song. The poem thus stresses the distinction between the speaker and the girl, and between poetry and song, and her life remains beyond what his poem can represent. Indeed, it is possible to read the poem as being about the failure of poetry or certain poetic language to adequately describe this pure unpresentation music. The poem begins in the present tense. The speaker asks the reader to behold yon solitary highland lass. However, the fourth stanza shifts into the past tense. The main song sang, the speaker is not in the valley watching the girl, rather, if is recalling a particularly beautiful memory, he is trying to describe the song of someone who has not there and who did not hear the Lass's song with him. There is thus a struggle at the core of the poem, as the speaker must find a way of represent her music in language. He tries to do this formally. The first four lines of the every stanza is in a modified form of the ballad, a form associated with popular song in the English and Scots. The last is likely singing in this format herself. It means the form of the poem suggests a kind of affinity between the speaker's own art and Lasse's musical art. However, the second group of four lines in each stanza switched into rhymed iambic tetrameter couplet, highly elaborated form distant from the low. Popular ballads, put another way, as the poem struggles to capture the girl's music in the writing, it finds itself unable to do so by um, mirroring the formal simplicity of that music. In the poem's second stanza, for instance, the speaker tries out a number of traditional metaphors for the sun. He compares the last to the nightingale and cuckoo bird. He exemplifies the high distinct traditional to poetic description of a strange foreign beauty, invoking Arabian sands and farthest fabrics. But in each case, he admits that the beauty of the Lasses song exceeds these traditionally beautiful things. In third stanza, the speaker admits that he does not even know what the song is about. It could be about great battle or might be about heartbreak. This is regard to as poetry fails to summarize the song center. In a way, the poem is a document of its own failure. Wordsworth was one of the leading figures of English Romanticism, an artistic and intellectual movement that swept across Europe at the end of the 18th century. The Solitary Reaper is a clear example of Wordsworthian Romanticism, since it is the speaker reflects on a powerful experience of nature from tranquil distance. The poem seems to subtly suggest to nobility and honesty of physical labor, like that which this girl performed. In doing so, however, the poem reduced the reaper's participation in human history and politics. The poem presents two sets of action. On the one hand, the reaper cuts and binds the grain and sing melancholy strain. On the other hand, the speaker and the reader behold and listen. There is thus an implicit distinction between the reaper and the speaker in terms of their relationship with nature. Along with I Wandered Lonely as Cloud, the Solitary Reaper is one of the Wordsworth's most famous post lyrical ballads lyrics. But what it really does it is pair the beauty of music and its fluid expressive beauty, the spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling that Wordsworth identify at the heart of the poetry. Uh, Assonance means two or more words used in proximate repeat vowel sound. In the poem The Solitary Reaper, assonance, hyperbole, and metaphor are poetic devices used. Thus, this poem is again a remarkable poem written by William Wordsworth. Thank you.